Hello and welcome back to the Dream School podcast. Today we're going to be discussing 5 things that surprised us about Poland. So Ronan, start us off.
All right, I think the biggest shock to me when I first came here was it's a lot, no offense, it's a lot more developed than I was taught and led to believe in the Western world. Because Poland is kind of seen as a more poorer country. The stereotypes aren't very positive about this country, but I was like, I think it sounds a lot better than people make it out to be. But again, it still has that post-Soviet Union stigma attached to it. And it's a horrible way to think about a country, really, truly. But it's definitely one of the biggest things that shocked me. But what do you think, Henry?
Yeah, I think it was the level of English and the attitude to speaking English, because I knew that people would speak English. And I know that we're in a big city. But I was very pleasantly surprised to see that people have a very nice attitude to speaking English. They're quite respectful about it, and it's not massively insulting to them to help.
Yeah, it's really nice.
You know, and I think that was a really pleasant surprise, definitely. Yeah.
That's a good surprise, at least. It's not a negative mindset like I had. So, but yeah, I would agree with you that they are a lot nicer than like French and Germans are with speaking English. So that's a very pleasant thing. But I think they just got a very positive view here about English speakers in general, like Americans, British. They've just got a positive view on us. So I think they're more respectful for us. And it's very nice to see, and I really appreciate the Polish people that do that. But another thing that shocked me was the cuisine. It's kind of weird, to be honest. Like pączki. And I'm like, you mean a donut? And I'm like, no, it's a pączek. I'm like, no, it's a donut. I'm like, but like when I think of a donut, I think of a hole in the middle, you know, not like a filled one that's just a ball, basically, you know. So that shocked me a little bit. What about you, Henry? What do you think about the pączki?
I think donuts were invented here, weren't they? Were they invented in America?
I haven't a clue.
Maybe I think you might have done an American there. I think you might have accidentally done an American.
Whoopsie, like, my bad.
I know it was it pretzels are a Jewish thing, right? But I think they may have originated in the Jewish community here.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
Because there's some of them with the migrants to America. Because obviously, but no, I mean, honest opinion though, do you prefer donuts in America or pączki here? Because when they've got no hole, you're getting, you know the size of these pączkis, right? They're huge compared to I know Krispy Kreme is like
Krispy Kreme is horrible. Don't even bring them up.
I'm sure we can get better ones in America.
Dunkin' Donuts is way better.
But the pączkis are amazing.
The pączki are absolutely, I love them. I try to get as many as I can a week, and I just love them. I just can't eat enough of them. So
it is dangerous.
It is dangerous. I feel like I'm going to be bigger here than I was in America.
Yep.
But another shock was pickle soup. Like, my girlfriend told me about pickle soup, and I was like, are you crazy? I'm like, pickles? I was like, I could understand cucumber soup or something, but like pickles? And I was very pleasantly surprised. It tastes really good. I really liked it. So I do not regret that, but it was a shock to me. A very weird shock, but pretty nice. What about you, Henry? Any other foods?
The Jurek, unique flavor. Unique flavor, and I do quite like it. I've come to like pickles quite a lot actually from living here. But on the food subject, another massive surprise for me was the prevalence of these Oriental bars. I didn't know that there was a small but significant Vietnamese community in Poland.
Oh, really?
Who set up all of these Chinese restaurants, and to this day, I think it's still their families. There's still Asian people working there, just making like. Used to be cheap, not cheap anymore, obviously.
Of course.
Chinese, Vietnamese, Thai food in these kind of canteen-style places, some of which still kind of have like communist posters on the walls and stuff.
That's interesting.
They came from a previous time. So that's quite a really, really unique thing that nobody, I think, outside of Poland would have known. Like, there's just these Vietnamese communities just here with the restaurants. But it was great as somebody who's obviously from Asia. Like, it's good to have that option because I really miss the food.
Yeah, I get you. I would say on that note, kebabs. Like in America, they don't exist. They simply do not exist. I don't think I'd ever seen a kebab shop in my life or anything.
That's wild.
Because Turks don't really go to America. They just stay in Europe for the most part, you know? And we just don't have them. We have Indian a lot. You know, we have a lot of Indian food and a lot of Mexican. Mexican dominates mostly. So kebab, I've never had a kebab here yet. I mean, I know they're good. I've heard they're really good, but I need to try them. But that was a big shock because they're literally everywhere. Every corner you take, there's a kebab store down that road. It's absolutely crazy. It's like every Turk that comes here starts a kebab. It's like, all the power to them.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's a good point. I think some countries this is why it wasn't a surprise for me, because in the UK it's very popular. I think UK, Germany, Poland. It's either a country has 1 million of them or a country has none of them.
It's
literally. Because once you get them, people become obsessed. I guess that was a surprise for me as well. Yeah, definitely, because there are so many kebab shops here.
There really are.
Kind of thing. I knew about it in Germany because lots of Turks migrated there for work back in the 60s or whatever.
Yeah.
But in Poland, I just wondered, like, where did they all come from?
Yeah,
and why wouldn't they go to Germany and make money?
Like out of nowhere.
It's crazy. But another pleasant surprise because they're still quite cheap and quite tasty.
Yeah, they are.
One thing that surprised me was the cinema, the films of Poland, which I've watched a few of, especially the surrealist stuff from the kind of 60s, really wild films, like Aria dla Atleti, or not surreal, but Popiole Diament is a great film, Gorączka, like war films or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's this whole culture of Polish cinema that was actually very influential. That, of course, in the Western world, we don't know very much about.
Not really, no.
No, but there's some really brilliant, really imaginative films that I really enjoyed watching here. That was a massive surprise for me because I never knew.
I'll have to check them out. I haven't heard of that. Yeah, I'll have to check that out for sure. I think another big shock was the tram system. Public transportation in general here is, America has none, like at all, unless if you're in the subway system of New York. But outside of there's nothing. So very big shock to me as an American. And it's very, very useful for especially younger people who can't afford cars or anything like that. It's very useful for college students and just people who just don't want to drive, really. Older people, it helps out a lot because they don't have to actually drive for themselves. So what about you? I know in the UK you've got those double-decker buses, of course, like very popular, but no trams, right?
No trams, unfortunately. They got rid of them all for some reason and replaced them with buses, which are awful. Really awful,
horrible.
Dirty buses, very expensive. But yeah, the public transport was a real shock here. It's funny because people complain about it a lot.
They do,
here in Poland.
do, yeah.
But MPK Wrocław is amazing. The tram system, the bus, it's absolutely fantastic. You can go anywhere in the city.
Within 10, 15 minutes sometimes.
With one change.
With one change, yeah.
Anywhere.
Which is really good.
For
really
pennies, and even relative to the income here, it's
still cheap.
Yeah, it's still cheap. Relative to income. So that was a huge surprise, yeah, definitely. And the airport as well. It's a great airport, really modern. Never a queue. I've never been in a queue at the airport.
No, that airport is empty. It's pretty empty, all the time.
It's great for us.
It's very nice. Yeah, it's very good for me. Yeah. So
that was a pretty big surprise. But what else is there? I mean, the food, the infrastructure, some films. I mean, the attitude of
no
people.
smiling.
No smiling.
Yeah.
I'm very used to that.
Polish smile. I'm not. I'm not. Yeah. Everyone smiles in America. Everyone's very friendly. So that was a big shock to me. But other than that, I'm not too sure there's much else there. Is there, Henry?
I think that might be just about everything. But if there are any other surprising things about Poland you think we missed, then
let us
drop
know.
it in the comments below.
Yeah.
Send us an email. Thanks very much for listening, guys.
See you guys.
See you next time.